Congratulations. After all of the searching, the applying, the phone screens, the interviews, you landed a job as a construction scheduler. It's time to celebrate. Okay, now that that's done, let's get back to work. See, here at Plan Rich, we're just not going to leave you at the doorstep of your first job. We want you to be successful. So here in this course, we've provided some tips, tricks, and tactics to help you along on your first 90 days. You only get to start a new job once. It is all about first impressions. But with everything there is to learn and the new skills to pick up and the people to meet, how do you ensure that you're successful? The key is having a plan. What we've done is broke your first 90 days into 30-day chunks. We'll walk through each of those 30 days. Before we jump into these buckets, let's talk a little bit about why this is so important. I see a ton of entry-level schedulers come in and they're deer in the headlights. They're a bit shy, they're a bit timid, and it's hard to get them out of their shells and get them up working at a level that's going to take them places. I remember one entry-level scheduler, it took 2 months to ask for a cord to hook up his external monitors. This was a 5-second fix, but he waited because he was too shy and uncomfortable to go ask for help. Now, think about this person as time rolls on. When leadership opportunities come up, promotions come up, bonuses come up. Is that person going to be at the front of the line? Is that the person that other people are going to want to go work with? No. And here's the key lesson out of all of this. When you start a job and you begin working, people will assign labels to you. You want the best possible labels assigned. That person is productive. That person has a growth mindset. That person can learn. That person can impact the business. That's what we're targeting for in these first 90 days. And that's what you're shooting for, to set that bar where you know people want you to be. We're going to want to set you up for success and have the right labels associated with you. And to do that, you need a plan. So let's jump into our first bucket. The first 30 days are all about learning. You're going to be drinking out of the fire hose. There's going to be a load of information coming at you from all different angles. You're going to meet a ton of new people, be exposed to all these different sorts of business processes, and you're going to be on a project that you may have no idea how it's being built or constructed. And you know what? That's okay. Everybody who starts on jobs has to climb the exact same mountain. So 3 things you really want to focus on: people, process, and personal. With people, you're trying to get out there and get yourself introduced. Your manager may take you around on day 1 and introduce you to the project team. If he or she doesn't, ask them to. When being introduced, don't be timid or shy. You can say, "Hi, I'm Micah Pipo. I'm the new scheduler on this project." You can ask the person what their role is and what they do. You'll want to get an org chart and study it. You can find out who the different people are in the different roles in various positions that you'll be interacting with. If possible, find people to take you on job site walks. It is a great opportunity to get to know people by going out and walking the project. There are often several standard walks that various groups go on, and you can just ask to tag along. In addition to your manager taking you around and introducing you to people, you should also set up a one-on-one with your manager. This is a perfect time to talk to he or she about how your onboarding process is going. A really great question to ask your manager are, who are the 5 to 10 people that are super important to meet, that you should be meeting and understanding what they do on the project? And if you're intimidated with one-on-ones or meeting with people, we've linked a ton of content below to help you along on your way. Learning the processes. Every group does some of these basic functions just a little bit differently. You'll have schedule creation, schedule progressing, and reporting. Now, in your first 30 days, you're going to want to look at each of these and start to figure out how they work and how the project prefers that you do them. To be able to do this, one of the first things you need to do is ensure you can get access to the scheduling tool. It'll most likely be Primavera P6. Oftentimes, that requires a corporate laptop, different sorts of tickets for security approval, and then also an administrator to set up Primavera P6 to you. You want to make sure that is one of your top priorities because you can't contribute if you don't have the tools available to go do it. So make sure that is one of your top priorities. Now, the next thing to do is start looking at some of these different processes and learning how they work. Do they use certain activity codes when creating a schedule? Is there a set WBS? When you go look at how people are progressing projects, is it percent complete? Is it units percent complete? Is the meeting done one-on-one with a project manager, or are you emailing them an Excel spreadsheet? These are all things that you can look at and see how they're being done so you can mimic in the future. Another way to figure out how these are done is to shadow another scheduler. It's totally fine to ask somebody that, hey, can I come check out how you're progressing the schedule? Or could I see how you build the schedule to see how it's done successfully? That way, you'll have an easier job of replicating it. Whenever you start a new job, there's quite a few personal things that you'll need to take care of. There's things like tax information, direct deposit, benefits, 401ks, medical, you name it. Make sure you're taking the appropriate amount of time to make the selections that are right for you. As you start to transition from a learner to a doer, your job is going to pick up in pace, and you just want to get these things out of the way so you can move on. Let's jump in to day 31 through day 60. Congratulations, you've made it a month. Your next focus should transition to understanding and independence. Independence is where you're able to start picking up some of the basic processes that you learned in your first 30 days and doing them with minimal to no oversight. This is a great trajectory to head on because it shows that you're capable of working independently, that you have a growth mindset, and that you're going to continue to be able to grow and take on more and more work and accomplish more. When you start thinking about understanding, what we're really talking about here is understanding the project in which is being built. Whether you're on a data center, a nuclear facility, or a railroad project, you want to go talk to the people who can get you knowledge about the project that's being constructed. This knowledge is super impactful as you start to grow in your career because you'll be able to operate even more independently. You figure out how a bus duct works and how a bus duct is installed in a data center. You need less project manager involvement now to go build a successful bus duct schedule in the electrical section. So as you start to move forward between day 31 through day 60, you're going to want to focus on finding independence and understanding your project further. Let's tackle that final bucket, day 61 through day 90. You should now be operating some tasks independently. Maybe you're progressing a schedule all by yourself and running a scheduled progress meeting with a project manager or a small team. Maybe you're independently creating some schedules, or maybe you've took some reporting off of a senior scheduler. You're really headed in a great direction. The next two things we want to focus on is aligning with your manager on what your career growth should be, and also trying to find some easy early wins to continue to build that confidence up. Up to this point, you've been meeting with your manager on a regular basis. And in those conversations, you've been probably asking a load of questions to help get you better up to speed. Now, as we transition over from the 60 to 90 day bucket, what I recommend is adding a career conversation in with your manager. This is an extremely important strategic conversation where you understand what your manager's expectations are, what you're delivering, what you're not delivering, and how you're going to grow to meet those deliverables. In addition, what are your career goals and aspirations? Having a structured conversation around these topics is the best way to ensure your career growth. It will create a sense of transparency and make it easier for you to go out and deliver what your manager is expecting. Because there's an interesting thing that happens. You are going to want things at work. Maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's a bonus, maybe it's to transfer into a different career role. Whatever it is, if your manager is unaware about it, it's unlikely those things will magically drop from the sky. So there's a thing that's separating what you want from where you are now, and that is performance. Getting that performance defined and agreed to with your manager will be massively important for you. So I highly recommend starting to fold in those career conversations with your manager in your one-on-ones. The last piece of advice for your first 90 days is to constantly be on the lookout for easy wins. Easy wins are where you find a problem that has been nagging people for quite some time and you solve it. Solving these sorts of problems helps build confidence in yourself, but also helps you to build confidence and trust within your team. Some examples might include, one of my personal favorites is simply just updating the onboarding guide that you received as a construction scheduler. Oftentimes these onboarding guides fall out of date with inaccurate links and inaccurate information. It'd be very easy to go in and help update. Another example might be taking over a piece of reporting from a senior scheduler, or going out and working with a project manager to figure a more optimized delivery sequence. There are loads of gems out there if you simply look for them. From the Plan Rich family, we wish you the very best of luck in the future. Do not hesitate to reach out and ask any questions. For those looking to continue their journey, we offer a scheduler to senior scheduler course. This is geared towards landing your first promotion and establishing yourself as a leader in the company. Congratulations again, and we hope to see you soon.